afternoon. My name is Tsering Gelik, and I'm from the United States, and I'm here in Sarnath. Is it loud enough? Should I hold it? Better if I hold it? Okay. Hello, good afternoon. My name is Tsering Gelik, and I'm here in Sarnath, Uttar Pradesh, in the north of India. Then? Would you like me to talk about something?
And the building
Sure.
around.
We're right now at the Sarnath International Nyingma Institute, and this was established in 2008, our groundbreaking. This institute is a small campus located about a kilometer from the main Dhammaka Stupa. And my father, Tartang Rinpoche, had amongst his friends from India, lamas, had gathered together to make the aspiration to create an institute here. So that was more than 24 years. And when we began, we started with the assembly hall, which is on the north axis, and we have four main buildings. We have the assembly hall, a residential hall. Hello. I'll start again. We have on this campus four main buildings, the assembly hall, the residential block, and the academic block and library. These four buildings are connected with passageways to allow the students and teachers and guests to easily go between the buildings. And as you can see by the style of the architecture, it's inspired by a more Indian and South Indian in particular form. And we wanted to create a space that was open and inviting, and in the sense that Buddhists from all over the world would feel comfortable. As we've seen in many of the beautiful monasteries and temples that have located themselves in places like Bodh Gaya and Sarnath, they often bring a Tibetan or Korean or Japanese, which shows the vast, how Buddhism had spread from all parts of Asia. And when it returns to India, it has its own very unique identity. And so when we were thinking about creating this institute, we wanted to create something that actually expressed its Indian roots in a modern way at the same time. So we have tried our best to express it in such a way. And one of the things that people have asked me about is whether or not this is a monastery or a temple, or what is it exactly. And the institute, as its name is, the Sarnath International Nyingma Institute, is really that. It's an institute, and it's open for both lay and monks and nuns, different periods of the year. In the summertime, we hold a Vasa retreat that goes for approximately 3 months. And our sister organization, the Light of Buddha Foundation, has started its first rains retreat this past summer. And during that time, the monks gather and practice together and recite the sutras. And this is a tradition that goes back to the Buddha's life and his teachings in the Vasa, and his time spent with his disciples to deepen their knowledge of the Buddha's teachings. And at our institute, we'll be running a 9th month program. Right now, the weather is beautiful because we're in November. And between the end of September and early March, we have what for me, is considered good weather. And the rest of the year, from April, May, and June, it's quite hot. It can reach up to 45, 46 degrees here. So it takes a certain kind of resilience. And I think we will have programs here for both the Tibetan and Southeast Asian and Westerners. So it is really meant to be an international institute which essentially brings together the fruits of the best of the knowledge and wisdom of the East, the knowledge and wisdom of the West, and we find a way to exchange these gifts. And at our institute, we make a special effort to really respect and love what has come from these great traditions. Right now, what we have is an art project. We're still under construction, but we have an art project with a lead artist by the name of Kaveri Singh and her husband TJ. And we've gathered artists from around the world to depict through painting the life of the Buddha on the Lalita Vistara Sutra. And what's extraordinary about this is that this is the first time since the 2nd or 3rd century that this particular sutra has been depicted, as far as we know, on a large scale. So it's meant that we've had a very close reading of the text, looking at examples from the actual sutra so that the life of the Buddha comes alive. And if we go inside the main hall, what we'll see is a very unique example of art. And I'd like to just say a few words about that, because art, and especially sacred art, is so important this day, because we are really bombarded with a lot of images, commercial images, images that kind of always create a material emphasis. And in our case, what we are trying to do is really open up the heart to relax and see the spaciousness of the land and nature, and to appreciate the life of the Buddha. And so in the hall, what they've begun with is the sky and the trees and the landscapes. And we've really made an emphasis to show what the land might have looked like during the time of the Buddha's life. And so the hall will come alive with the landscapes. And when we look at all the different traditions of Buddhist paintings and temples and monasteries, we see every culture has developed its own form to suit and adapt to its place. And likewise here, we are really trying to give it a sense of what it means to be located in India at the time of the Buddha, to take inspiration from the murals of Ajanta and Ellora, and to really pay homage to the great artistic traditions of India. Because in fact, of course, we know that without the artistic developments in India, many of the places in China and Japan, they all modeled after the form